If you are struggling to deeply connect with a woman, then pay attention to this video because I'm going to explain why that is happening and what you can do to course correct this so you can have abundant, intimate relationships with women, but also really anybody, and connect with someone from more of an abundant social place. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I talk about all things about masculine identity, building an authentic lifestyle, and attracting your ideal relationship into your life. So if any of that interests you, consider subscribing to check out more of what I talk about. First things first, obviously you see I'm in a new area. At the time I'm recording this, I have officially moved out. Right now I'm in Vegas. That's why the backdrop's not quite the same here. It's a little minimalist, which is cool because it's not a lot of clutter. So anyways, besides the moving, let's get into the topic about how to build a connection with women on a deep, intimate level. And there's a couple things that I want to talk about when it comes to that. The first thing I want to talk about is my experience that happened that actually triggered this topic in the first place. So recently I went to a networking event, and you know how those things go. People pass out business cards. It's very robotic. They shake your hand and within a minute or two, they're on to the next person without really developing any kind of relationship. Have you experienced this before? You've been to the networking events and mixers and things like that. There's not a lot of time for intimacy, at least with most people. Maybe there's one or two people that you actually talk to. But the point being, I met this one guy, right? And he immediately wanted me to go to his event. Hey, what's your name? I run this event. Here's my card. He filled out this whole form, put my name on it, took my number down, put me in a group chat. And before I even got into who I am, what I do, or any of that, he already signed me up for these things that he's hosting next week. Another event, another thing. Like, I don't even know who he is. He damn sure doesn't know who I am. So the likelihood of me going to those things, 0%. I had no interest in following up with this guy and getting to know about anything that he has going on because immediately it felt like I was being sold. You ever get that feeling when you know somebody has an agenda and when they're talking to you, they're not really listening, they're kind of just waiting for their chance to speak? That was exactly the experience I had with this guy. Now, contrast that with another guy that I met that night. And we connected on a lot of different things. We talked about faith, we talked about family, we talked about masculinity, we talked about health, we talked about podcasting together. I mean, we got into so many different subjects. And he was really invested in me. He was asking me questions about my life, my journey, my upbringing, my experience. I told him I just recently moved here and I'll be here for the next month. So he was genuinely invested in my story and where I came from and what I was all about. Now, he also has events, right? He actually runs his own thing and has mixers and has parties, and he invited me to all those things. But with him, I am way more inclined to go to his events and to see him again and follow up because he actually connected with me. It wasn't superficial. We actually went deep. Now, I want you to understand that exact concept. Why was I able to be a lot more open to seeing this guy than the first guy? It's because the second dude actually connected with me personally. He gave a shit about my life, about my interest, about my values, about my worldview. But the first guy, it was just to get me signed up on a card. I felt like another statistic in on like another tally off his board, right? I wasn't like a person in his eyes. Now, why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story because that is how most men approach women in general, but just conversations, period. The majority of people, like I said, are looking for their chance to speak. They're not actually listening to you. They're not actually connecting with you. Now, you've probably heard the advice when you're talking to women, make sure they do 70 to 80% of the talking. Have you heard that before? I've heard it before through different pickup coaches and dating coaches, but that is true. You want the women to talk more. Why? Not because you're manipulating them or because you're hiding about who you are. It's because you're actually taking an interest in the other person that is talking to you. You're asking her questions about her life, her values, her worldview. How many times do I talk about vetting women? This is how you vet them. Understand who they are, what their values are, what they believe in, who they are as a person. And that naturally will spark a curiosity in them to invest in you. When you invest in other people, people want to invest in you. It's a great book, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It talks about this concept exactly of like gaining interest in somebody else, make someone interested in you. Everybody says that book is outdated and archaic. It's timeless advice, because you're gonna garner more attention and interest and curiosity and intrigue from somebody when you already have that to them. It's just how it works. It's like the law of reciprocity. When you connect, people want to connect with you. I find that in my experience, most guys, and I can say this because I used to be this way as well, the guys that brag, or they talk a lot about themselves, or they, talk about their accomplishments maybe, and they always make it about them, that's when they lose people. And especially that's when they lose women. Because you're making all the conversation focused on you, and not only you, what you want people to see. You're making it about the image that you're trying to portray, instead of actually being authentic and connecting from a deep and intimate place. Women don't want to connect with the facade, man, the mask, the person that you're trying to be and posturing to be, because they can sniff that out in a minute. Maybe you can fool them for a date, maybe you can fool them for a month, but eventually your real self will come out. When you're comfortable in yourself, really think about this. When you're a confident, secure man, you're not talking about yourself as much. You know what your worth is. You know your value. You know what your gifts and unique talents are. You have a solid identity. So why would you need to explain and overshare and prove to people how cool or valuable that you are? You would never need to do that. It's already known. And by you naturally taking an interest in somebody else, they're going to want to understand about you too. See how this works? The less you make the conversation about you and you put it on them, you make it about the other person, your relationships will flow effortlessly. Effortlessly. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've talked to somebody, whether it's a girl, another person, another guy, doesn't matter who it is. When I made it about them and I just took an interest in them, the conversation just opened up. I had strangers tell me the most deep, dark secrets of their life. People I've never met before, but just because I'm curious and I'm asking questions. When I make it about me and I feel like I have something to prove, I'm doing most of the talking and they're leading the conversation. See, the one who's asking the questions is leading the conversation. So if you want to lead the conversation and have it naturally flow where you want it to go, do more of the listening. Question more. Be curious. One of my patented models, the C4 method, connection is the fourth C. I have 4 C's that encapsulate really becoming a strong, authentic man. Connection is the third C in that equation. And what I'm learning about connection is it's really all about listening and understanding and going deep. It's not surface level, it's going deep. And actually being present with somebody else. You can't connect with somebody else until you first connect with yourself. Because if you don't connect with yourself and you don't know yourself and you're not clear on the identity that you have in life as a man, well, that's when you're going to posture. That's when you're going to perform and do a lot of the talking, do a lot of the dancing monkey type of thing, because you actually deep down don't feel like you're good enough and you don't feel like you're worth anything. I'm not saying you directly, you watching this. I'm saying in general, that's what most people do. That's what I used to do. I never felt good enough, so I had to put on a mask. Look at some of my older videos. That's what I was doing. I was performing. I was posturing. I wasn't actually being truly authentic. Because back in the day, I thought to myself, what kind of guy wants to listen to a 24-year-old guy that still lives at home, that doesn't really have a lot of money, and you know, went on a couple dates with women, but still didn't have a girlfriend at the time. Like, I was really, really trying to get people to like me. And as a result, people kind of liked me, but they also kind of didn't dislike me. I was very neutral with people. I wasn't loved and I wasn't hated. And this is a whole other concept of being polarizing. When you're polarizing, people know where they stand with you. You don't have to be a dick. It's not about being hateful. It's about being authentic. Authenticity is the most polarizing position that you can be in, period, bar none. And believe me, it is extremely masculine to be authentic. It's a big thing that I teach is authenticity. And to be authentic is to be vulnerable, because you can't connect with yourself, especially other people, until you're actually vulnerable. And that looks a lot different than what people think of when they think of the word vulnerability. This gets it's a very taboo subject, especially in this men's space. But man, is it important. So I really hope that this connects with you. I really hope you're hearing what I'm saying and it's making sense, because man, it will change your relationships forever. If you want to really build intimacy, now I'm talking about like deep intimacy, not just surface level connections where you talk about the weather, or you talk about, oh, you have really pretty eyes, or this girl has a nice hair. Like, I'm talking about deep things that matter in life. You want somebody on your team, you want them invested in you, you want a woman to connect and follow your lead, you gotta invest in them first. You gotta show that you're genuinely curious about who they are. People only invest, I'm gonna say this one last time so this really, seeps through. You get people invested into you when you invest in them first. Invested people become invested in you. That's just how it works. That means that's how it's worked for me in my experience in the last 7 or so years of me doing this. And I had to learn the hard way too. Because at one point, I was the performing guy. I was the posturing guy. Now I'm just being me and being very authentic and listening and trying to take things in and learn from people, because I know I don't know everything. I really hope this made sense. I think if you take this advice seriously and you really start to embody this, you would be shocked how different your relationships and really your social life in general begins to change when you start to adopt the mentality of being genuinely curious instead of trying to just paint a picture in someone's mind, instead of trying so hard and oversharing, overdoing it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm, lets me know that this is the kind of content that you want to see. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you do. If you watch the entire video, you might as well subscribe if you're not. I talk about all things masculine identity, building an authentic lifestyle, and attracting genuine, deep relationships in life. If any of that interests you, consider becoming a subscriber. And comment down below if any of this resonates with you. Am I sparking an idea in your mind? Is this making sense? Or do you want me to explain on this further in maybe another future video? Let me know. I read all the comments and I love to hear from you guys too. Truly, I love to hear from you and understand kind of where your perspective is on everything. I'm going to keep creating from this place, even if it's a new environment. I still want to make YouTube videos and I still want to explain things, because I'm getting a lot of creative energy out here. I'm starting to move in different ways and think in different ways. So anything that I have to share, I'm going to just like keep giving it to you and, continue to be of service. If you want to work with me personally along the lines of anything I just mentioned, working on your identity, building up your relationships, or creating an authentic lifestyle, the link is down below. No pressure if that's not something you're into, but it's just a conversation to see what's blocking you from the life that you want, and actually identifying what is the target that you're trying to hit. So if that interests you, the link will be down below. And that's pretty much it, man. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and it gained some kind of valuable insight for you. I really want these videos to just start sparking some ideas so you walk away being like, man, I learned something and this was really, really helpful. So that's my intention. Hopefully you got that. Other than that, man, I am looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Catch you next time. Peace out.